Hi and welcome in this video. We are going to talk about the bus mixing and improving Combinator, which will make this sound to sound like this. Do you like the way it improves the sound? Me too. Let's see together how it works. Alright, we have our song here. It is the same, so now the vocals are mixed. We saw that in the previous video. And we are going to put this combinator on buses and instruments that needs some tweaking. So I think the first thing we are going to do is to address the drum section. So let's see how it is done. So we have the track bus for basically everything except snare and kick. This is our snare, this is our kick. So let's see how it works with kicks first, because it's one area where this combinator is particularly good. Let's put it on the kick bus. Alright, and let's hear the groove kick in. So first section we have the harmonics. Harmonics, well, it's a harmonics generator, and it is targeted at a certain frequency, which means that it doesn't add harmonics to the overall track. It only adds harmonic to a narrow band of frequency. We can select the frequency with the little knob just under, and we have another knob that is called variation. It works in combination with the alternate button. So we have two harmonics generator, and we can vary the tone or what the harmonic generator is doing to generate the harmonics. Let's hear the example, and I'm going to try to enhance the attack of the kick. The thing I like to do with this function is to push the harmonics way up, and then with the frequency knob search for the area that I want to improve. So let's go back to default settings. So as you can hear, we are swiping across the frequency range. So let's find the correct snap we want to enhance. I can try to switch to the other algorithm. All right. Let's now dial in the harmonics. Let's hear it in the context of the mix. That's about right. Next up, we have a mod function. It's basically an EQ, and it's targeting muddy frequency. So we can reduce the mud or increase the mud. Let's reduce the mud first. Does it improve the kick? Let's increase the mud. Yeah, I don't think it will be necessary to use this function on the kick. Let's see about the next function, which is the fait. So it's a distortion of a certain frequency. So it kind of works the same as the harmonic section, but is only targeted to low frequency. So you can have low frequency enhancements and whatever frequency you want with the harmonics part of the combinator. So let's put the fait up with the distortion. You can note that we also have another button which is called fait with EQ. So we can have the fait generated with distortion or the EQ, and we can have both at the same time. Let's hear it, what it does on the kick. I think it really helps. We can kind of modify the frequency target, though the range is much narrower. So it goes from 63 Hz to 127. Usually the center, it's it's quite good because it's landing on the 80 Hz frequency, which is a nice sweet spot for bass without being too subby. Although you can make them really subby. And you can also enhance the EQ, and the EQ is a much broader band, so it will increase every sub-frequency. As you can hear, the kick is much more fat now, but it maybe is a bit too much. I think I'm going to go with the distortion only. Yeah, 80 Hz works best. Alright, next up we have a widening function. It's just the stock imager from Reason, and it's going to widen the top band. You have the crossover here. It's something you already probably know. Next we have the parallel compression, and that is my favorite function of this combinator. It really works well with everything that is percussive, and it will also work on synth for plugs or some leads synth. It will work really well. Let's hear what it does on the kick. Let's hear it in solo. So it's pre-dialed in, so you don't have nothing to worry about. You just have to increase the value of the parallel compression. You can hear only the compression by enabling this button. And you can have a one-to-one gain match, so that the volume after the parallel compression is being handled to kind of match the input volume. It doesn't always work well, but it is here and it kind of does the job. You can disable it if you want to have more volume after the combinator. It really depends of the instrument you are working on. For this kick, I think I'm going to keep the one-to-gain gain match, but let's hear in the mix. Yeah, just a little bit. Next up, we have the focus and smooth function. Both are just EQ, so you are boosting the frequency range that is here, and you are reducing the frequencies above the value you are selecting here. Alright, please note that those functions are not present in the Reason 10 Combinator version, because there is not enough knobs. But you can easily make that yourself with an EQ after the combinator or on the SSL track. Okay, so the kick is addressed. Let's hear what we can do with the snare. So as you can see, the same way I did before, I pushed the harmonics way up, then select the frequency range that I wanted to have, the frequency target, try different variation of the algorithm, and then when I'm happy with the sound, I'm dialing the harmonics in context of the mix. Alright, let's see what the mud can do for us. Let's reduce the mud. Not much difference. Let's increase the mud. Not much difference. Right, let's go with the fat section. Can that add some fat? Yes. With the EQ, I think, because only with the distortion is going to be too thin. It's maybe a bit too much. Let's dial it in with the mix. Let's see if the widening can help us, because I think this snare is quite wide, while the reverb is wide. Yeah, it doesn't really help. Let's hear the parallel compression. For this one, I think I'm going to disable the one-to-one gain match. Yeah, just a little bit. Let's hear if a focus can help us. So it's always nice to have a goal in mind before working on a sound, but it's also okay to just turn the knob and see if you like what you are hearing, right? So some people on YouTube will tell you only work on sound if you are determined, if you want to do the modification, if not, leave it as it is. But I personally doesn't work like that. I often like to put effects to just hear what it does, and sometimes you have happy accidents. I think it helps a bit. I like the sound of the snare with a bit of boost in the 2K range. Let's disable the combinator for the snare to hear the before. Let's enable the combinator. It's a bit louder, so I'm going to compensate the volume, but I like the way the snare sound now. I'm going to just lower the volume a little bit. Sounds good. Let's hear if the drums need anything. Yeah, I think a little bit of parallel compression will help the drums to just pop out a little bit more. So I'm not going to touch any section, just the parallel compression. Yeah, works nicely. Let's just try to improve the harmonics with the frequency way up to like make more sparkles on the cymbals. Let's alternate the algorithm. Yeah, I like the alternate version. Yeah, here. Yeah. Without, with, without, with. It makes the top end a little bit more crispier. Yeah, kind of like that. All right. Now let's see on instrument what it does. So let's target the... Okay, I think for this one I'm going to target all the basses at once, because this is a kind of dubsteppy song, and the first break we have here is using a lot of basses and leads. So I think we are going to handle all the basses at once. Let's hear the break section number 1. Let's solo the section. Let's insert the combinator. I think I'm going to use this section as it's using a lot of sound at once. Let's start with the harmonics. So I think for the bass section, I don't want to enhance the top end, but more of the bottom, or like the body of the bass. Alright, let's hear it in the context of the mix and let's dial the harmonics amount. Let's try the other algorithm. I think I prefer the other algorithm. Let's disable the combinator. Let's enable the combinator. Let's increase the frequency just a tad bit. Let's decrease the mud. Let's increase the mud. Yeah, a little bit less mud. Now the fat. I think fat will help the bass and the sub frequency to really appear, because they are quite thin at the moment. Maybe not the EQ. Let's bypass. Let's enable. Bypass. Enable. Bypass. Enable. It needs a bit more tweaking, but it kind of helps. Okay, now the widening, I don't think we are going to use it, and I'm going to use another combinator after this one, but not in this video. You will have to watch it. Let's go to the parallel compression. So of course, for this, the compressor for the parallel compressor is triggered all the time, so it doesn't really work. It just lowers the volume because the gain match is enabled. So I think I'm going to disable the gain match and only have a little bit of parallel compression to just mark the beginning of notes when they are heard. You see, when there's gap like here, it just helps to make them more pop out of existence. Let's hear it in the mix. Let's hear without. Let's hear with. Without. With. Yeah, it really works. Let's see what the focus does. Maybe 1K. I don't think smooth will be helpful here. Okay, let's hear the other break, and let's disable the combinator. Let's start with the combinator disabled. Let's enable the combinator. Disable. Enable. Disable. Enable. Yeah. So it pushed the volume a little bit, so I have to compensate for that. But overall, I'm really happy with the result. Yeah. All right, the base is okay. So now let's move to the plugs. So let's see, we have plugs here. And they are a bit quiet and a bit boring. So let's see what we can do with our magic combinator. Is the mud helpful? It brings more body, but I don't think it is needed. It doesn't hurt, but like let's put like a little bit. I don't think that will be helpful. Widening, I don't think that helpful as well. It is already nicely panned, and let's bring the compression. Oh yeah, yeah. Parallel compression kind of works on everything. It's a nice tool to have at hand. So just pop this combinator up. It's really light on the resource because it doesn't use as many devices as you think. And yeah, you just have like basic tools to tweak your sound and make it a little bit more interesting. Let's quickly see what we can do with the leads. Oh, where is the rack? Right. Lead channel. Let's put it in there. Yeah, I think that's the correct target I want. And about the tone. Quick tip, usually this configuration is the more transparent for the harmonics to be added, so it does sound kind of natural. Let's dial in the harmonics. Yeah, I think it really adds something. Let's remove a little bit of mud. Fat doesn't be useful. Widening has an interesting effect. Just on the top end. Maybe that could work also in the break. Widening off. Widening on. Hey, it does something on the top end. Okay, let's keep it that way. And the parallel compression, I don't think it's going to work well here because the notes are sustained. And as I was saying, it will trigger the compressor and the compressor will stay triggered. So it doesn't really make a lot of difference. It just reduces the volume. So in this case, we have to disable the gain match and just put a little bit of parallel compression if we want to improve like the first notes, the transients. It can be interesting. All right, I think we're good for this one. I'm going to leave you with the break, and I'm going to see you in another video. Bye!